picking JD was a good pick. There were several names in the running. You had Governor Youngkin from Virginia. You had Senator Rubio and some other members of Congress. And JD Vance was one of the top folks. As you know, he's been only elected to the U.S. Senate for 2 years. And I think, don't quote me, I think he may be the second youngest vice presidential pick. So I think the reality is that, although Donald Trump, if he wins the election, would serve 4 years, JD Vance would be 44, and he would be hopefully eligible to run. And if he were to win, that would be 8 years. So I think it's aside from picking a good running mate, it would lay the foundation for continuing the legacy for another 8 years after Donald Trump leaves. Most people are very content with JD Vance being selected as the vice presidential, as the vice president under the Republican ticket.
A lot of people had thought that maybe President Trump would go for somebody who is closer to the center than somebody who is very far from the center. Your thoughts?
I think more it's about preserving the legacy. So if Donald Trump were to win, I think JD's young enough. He's 40 years of age, and let's say he obviously serves 4 years, he'll be 44. He would be able then to run for president and continue with the legacy. So the reality is, I think it was more finding someone who would ideologically carry the torch for President Trump after his 4 years. So, albeit they could have widened the umbrella, I think the idea was to pick a candidate that was very ideologically and philosophically close to the president. So after his one term, the vice president would be able to continue with the legacy. So, politics for President Trump is personal. And like I said, if there's no chemistry, if there's no cohesiveness, it's not going to work. So I think this is more, personality politics. I think JD Vance, actually, if you look at JD Vance's history originally, he wasn't as pro-Trump until much later. When he got elected to the Senate, which was 2 years ago from Ohio, he became much more aligned with President Trump's policy. So I think it's more of a personality pick. I think there's chemistry. And like I said, there's good rapport between JD and President Trump. So I think it was just a good fit. JD's done a lot of things to defend the president when he was president and after he was president.
Earlier you talked about President Trump trying to unite the country.
I think President Trump recognizes he only has 4 years, and the vice presidential pick will most likely be the pallbearer for the party. So I think he was looking to have a person that after he served 4 years could continue the legacy. So I think it's more about, building the base for the party. As you know, President Trump did have a pretty constructive talk with President Biden over the weekend, and President Trump was very grateful. So there's been definitely a change in tone, I think. After this weekend, I think, the gloves were off. I think the gloves are back on now. And I think that there'll be a little more thoughtfulness moving forward.